No, you don't need the.
I'm doing this my way.
He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend.
Fucking on it though, then
He a
you're gonna fuck it up
legend.
later.
Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of items. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of items.
What's up, everybody? It's Pikel with League of Items and also Thrive Fantasy. So that's going to scroll back and forth nowadays. Thrive Fantasy's been pretty good to me so far. Supposedly, they're sending me out some swag. So when I get that, I will show you it, just in case you want some. Basically, if you want to help support the channel, use promo code Pikel on Thrive Fantasy. You get a 100% deposit match up to $100. If you deposit $10 or more and play in a contest, you get two $20 contest entries. If you deposit $100, you get four $20 contest entries once you make that deposit and play in a contest. So thanks, Thrive Fantasy. In today's video, we're going to talk about the LPL and the LCK. Yesterday, I said that I liked World Elite as an underdog. By the time the match started, the line got pretty close. I watched the game, and a lot of people are talking about how bad it looked. And, you know, I only saw the third game, really. But it didn't seem that bad. I don't know. So, you know, I just don't know. The other game got postponed because of COVID, I believe. In the LCK, we had KT Rolster slap Hanwha Life, and then Fred Brion slapped Live Sandbox. And apparently, LSB's team was all ruled out, like a decent amount of time after lock. So that sucks. Like, obviously, we don't really have anything we can do about that. I know that some people are trying to get money back from DraftKings and stuff like that. In related news, I had Hideki Matsuyama in all three of my lineups for DraftKings for golf today. And one of those lineups has Tommy Fleetwood. So, you know, if you think you have it bad, just think about me. You know, whenever you think to yourself, oh, woe is me, my life is whatever, just think, well, Pikel rostered Hideki Matsuyama and might lose, you know, a couple $100 on it. It's all relative. But anyways, that's what happened yesterday. Let's take a look at some of the scoreboards. So in the first game, we had Gwen against Tryndamere, Viego against Xin Zhao. We had Akali against Ari, Aphelios against Jinx, Nautilus Leonis, all pretty generic. In the second game, Mole playing Vex. That is maybe the least surprising thing ever. Zika played Riven into Gnar twice. And that is a matchup that you can really take advantage of as the Riven. If World Elite won this game, they probably had a chance to win this game. It's a very close kill score. If they managed to win this game, I would have done a little bit better on DraftKings last night. And at the end of the game, if Xing picked up who did I need? Yeah, Xing had the chance to pick up a couple extra kills, I think, at the end of the third game. But like I said in the video yesterday, Biu against Zika. Zika does look like a very good top laner, and the fact that he would pick Riven into Gnar with Ignite and try to win the lane that way, it's a very aggressive thing. That's like the Shy-esque. So that's definitely a positive. We want our top laners to do stuff like that. In the jungle, Beishang against Shun. Shun is definitely thought of as the better player, but Beishang is probably just the better jungler straight up. I'm a big fan of Beishang. Xie against Mole. They're both underrated mid laners, probably. They just are. And then AD carry and support. Like, if you're an AD carry and you're playing Jinx or Aphelios, for the most part, unless you're an elite AD carry, you're going to look the same as everybody else. So, like, I know a lot of people were afraid of Xing because he played really bad when they were losing all the time, but they didn't have Beishang. So, you know, it's tough to give full credit to how bad he was then, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the other scoreboards. So we had KT Rolster, Camille against Sion. Sion's getting a lot more play nowadays. I had a lineup with Rascal and Aiming in it. So 17 in the first game, 18 in the second game. That means that they were pretty close they were like one team fight in each game from being the optimal second stack probably. Lava, I think, helped somebody take down the tournament last night. He had a very good kill score in their first game. 11 kills is pretty intense. I think he had like 160 something as a captain. But yeah, we didn't know that Live Sandbox was gonna have to play like a second squad, a B team, if you will. But that's whatever. So let's go to. Let me get the rosters. So the first game we have Rare Atom and Ultra Prime. Rare Atom and Ultra Prime. So we have Cube against Allies. Not a huge difference in terms of skill there, I think. If anything, Allies is better than Cube. I think that, I think that Allies is probably better than Cube. I don't really have a high opinion of either one, though. Hacker against Leon. You know, Leon was definitely thought of as the better player in the past, but I think Hacker is good enough to be competitive in that spot. Cryan against Strive. Strive has been pretty good, I think, so far. And Cryan at this point is underrated. People were saying that Cryan was good. Do you remember when that was happening? It was like when he was on E-Star and stuff like that. People thought that he was like a good mid laner because his team was doing well, when in reality it had a lot to do with the style of game that he was playing, and it wasn't a super difficult game plan to execute for his teams. And then we have Elkin Xiaoxi against iBoy and Yuyan Jia. I prefer the bot lane for Ultra Prime. I think that top lane might be Ultra Prime favored, so I like the underdog here. I want them at plus 195. In the second game, we have Thunder Talk against JDG. That's an easy spot for JDG. Can they lose a game? Yes. Will they lose this match? I hope not. They need all the wins that they can get for playoff seeding and stuff like that. We're too far into the season where teams kind of take nights off. So that would be super disappointing if JDG lost this match. I have a future on them to win the championship, so I hope they play well tonight. The Rare Atom Ultra Prime match is also very important for playoff seeding, so Rare Atom and Ultra Prime can still get into playoffs for sure. And a win tonight would go a long way towards that goal. Actually, it's going to be borderline. Let's see. Who does Ultra Prime still play? BLG. Ugh. BLG, Rare Atom, and RNG. That's not great. So BLG is worse than a 50-50. Rare Atom is a 50-50 at worst, I think. RNG is worse than a 50-50. So they are most likely not getting into playoffs. But yeah, JDG, they should be able to win their matchup. And then we have Top Esports against Weibo Gaming. And this is interesting. Minus 120 to minus 108. Top Esports is a slight favorite, but Weibo Gaming is definitely more popular. I think that Weibo Gaming, based on the numbers that I looked at the other day, is more likely, according to the sportsbook, more likely to win the split. So I don't know how that works. Weibo Gaming plus 600, and this was for the World Championships too. So Weibo's chances of winning the World Championships is at plus 600. Top Esports is at plus 650. But when they play against each other, Top Esports is a slight favorite. So that number must have gotten bet into a spot where Top Esports is the favorite now. And you know, I guess let's just go lane by lane. Wayward against the Shy. I prefer the Shy. S of M against Tian. I think I prefer S of M right now, but they're very close in terms of skill. S of M, if anything, S of M is probably overrated over Tian right now, just because people have a lower opinion of Tian. He hasn't been playing as well this split. Knight against Angel. Knight is definitely better. We've seen Angel play well against Knight in the past, specifically when like he was playing a lot of Zoe and stuff like that. I'm not sure in this meta. I think it's less likely for Angel to win that matchup unless Top Esports blind picks like a bad mid laner or a passive mid laner and then allows Angel to play something that's more aggressive. Like potentially Angel could play the Akali side of a matchup, but it's more likely that Knight would play that side of the matchup. So not great. And then Huan Feng and On against Jackie Love and Mark. I prefer Huan Feng and On, just straight up. I think Huan Feng's a better AD carry than Jackie Love is right now. So yeah, I would be on Weibo Gaming. I'd be on the underdog there. Let's go to the LCK. We have Guangdong against T1. Can Guangdong stop T1's undefeated season? That is the question. So Keen against Zeus. Keen can beat Zeus. Ellim against Owner. I mean, they were on the same team, and at one point Ellim was starting over him. So I think theoretically that could happen. Fate against Faker. I heavily prefer Faker. Gumayusi and Keria against Teddy and Hoyt. That's funny. It'd be pretty apropos if Guangdong Freaks are the ones that took down T1 and stopped them from having a perfect season. Ellim, former T1 player. Teddy, former T1 player. I don't think that Kane was ever a part of their coaching staff. But yeah, that's an interesting spot. Seems unlikely. How has Guangdong done against the other top teams? Lost to DRX, lost to Damwon twice, lost to Genji twice. They beat KT Rolster. They beat Nongshim twice. I mean, my gut tells me that Guangdong definitely has a chance. So I would say I would definitely consider betting them plus 1.5. But the outright is obviously so difficult. Plus 368. Yeah, so probably not going to end up touching that. Okay, and then the second match, we have Damwon against Nongshim. And again, it's another spot where Nongshim has severely underperformed this season relative to their talent. They just lost to DRX, but DRX is a pretty good team. Before that, they lost to Fred Brion, which is bad. That's a bad loss. In my opinion, it's a bad loss. Losing to Guangdong Freaks 2-0, that's not good. And like I said, going into the season, I liked the talent overall, and I kind of gave them the benefit of the doubt because people liked Ghost more than I did. So if they were right, and Dread is supposedly the best jungler in the LCK at one point, people were saying Kana is amazing. Like, I think that Kana is a very good player. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to a different team. I think it's more likely that Nongshim decides, Ghost isn't good enough. Then they would bring in a new AD carry, but I don't know which AD carry they'd really go after. Maybe what they have to do is just hope that the meta shifts away from like Jinx Aphelios. If the meta does move away from Jinx Aphelios, Nongshim will become a much better team. So we'll see how that happens. It depends on who what AD carries become the most popular then, because if it's Ezreal, I don't think that's great for Ghost. If it's like just pure utility AD carries playing like Jhin, Misfortune, stuff like that, where you're just more dependent on creating an early lead, like that would probably be the best thing for him. So that's basically it for this video. We have LCS this weekend on Saturday, I believe. So tomorrow's video will also be LPL LCK. I'm going to make a separate video for the LEC, their playoffs. They're a few weeks away already, but I wanted to take a look at it now just in case any of you have sports books that are offering lines for Spring Championship and stuff like that. So like I said, that's basically it for this video. But before I leave, Thrive Fantasy, use the promo code PIKEL. We're still under 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I want 50 people to use Thrive Fantasy. They have golf, basketball, they have baseball coming up when, like, I guess the lockout's done now or about to be done. And then they have esports, of course. So, check out thrivefantasy.com. Use the promo code PIKEL. Deposit match up to $100. If you do $10, it's 2 $20 contest entries. If you deposit $100, it's 4 $20 contest entries. So make sure you check that out. Link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.